questions for Coach.
Coach, what's this been like for you coming into last year? There was probably quite a bit of uncertainty about the line, just how well y'all performed. Then y'all performed really well, and now most of the guys are back. What's that like? What's the difference this year?
The difference this year than last year? Not a big difference. I mean, everybody has individual things they're working on, they're focused on. We've put in some wrinkles to our scheme up front for us, and when you're in year two, there might be an adjustment that you don't put in year one. You use it year two because you guys are more comfortable with the offense. So, there's some differences there, but there's not a lot of differences from a daily objective of individual improvement, unit improvement. The standards are high, just like they were last spring and for last season. So, not a lot of difference in expectation, but there's some wrinkles and things that we're adding in to just, keep guys interested, keep them on their toes, and keep them developing mentally.
Eric, as their coach, how excited were you just to have all those guys back, knowing that they could have been gone after last year?
Yeah, I'm excited that they're back because I love them. I mean, they're part of our family, my wife and I, and I like having them back just because I enjoy them as people. They're all great players, and they all bring their own individual piece to the puzzle, and so we really love having them back, but love having all of our players back. It's an exciting time for a lot of younger guys that have been working really hard and maybe didn't get the amount of snaps that they wanted a year ago, and they're in it. They're fighting, and everybody's fighting and grinding for starting spot, and of course that'll go a long time until we get into training camp. But it's just nice to have all of our guys back. I really miss John Carlo, really miss Zay. So it stinks when guys move on, but that's just part of the profession. You wish you could coach them forever, but I'm gonna savor this and enjoy my time with them as people and enjoy it.
Clearly, they enjoyed their time last year, or they wouldn't have come back. So, just I guess how have you created that culture that they want to be here, they want to be back, and they want to better themselves as a team?
Yeah, I think people just want to feel appreciated. I think players, especially offensive linemen, so a lot of linemen grow up maybe not the most handsome kid at the school, and might be swimming with a shirt on, and a lot of them grow up and have some insecurities. And so I think all inherently linemen are very loyal people. I think they just like to be treated with respect, but also pushed. And I don't know. I think we just we have a very clear understanding in our room that we want to have the most fun in the country in our meeting room, but we also want to be the hardest working group when we're on the grass. So that balance is it's hard to find. It's easy to say and hard to do. I think they just enjoy that kind of environment for growth because it's not 4th and 1 every meeting, and it's not the end of the world if we make a mistake. It's about getting it right, not being right now. We need to be right on September 3rd. So I think they just enjoy that type of atmosphere.
And any of the younger guys you'd like to mention besides the 4 that came back who are making a move this?
Not individually, just for some guys are not getting as many reps right now as we wish they were, maybe because of injuries. But I think just the younger group as a whole, you can feel their urgency. They're especially first year, they don't have necessarily a bunch of skins on the wall, and so they're just trying to figure me out, figure the system out, and learn how to get in the stance on the right side of the line. And so when you transition to a second year, and even guys transition to a third year, because really some of the freshmen that experienced their freshman year during 2020, they really kind of missed an off season of development, and so it's a lot of guys that are just making big jumps. As far as football IQ, I think is the biggest one. That's really good to see. Vic's always going to get those guys stronger and push those kids to put weight on their back and lift the house. But I think the development from a football IQ standpoint is what I'm the most proud of. And being able to put on an NFL game and say, hey, that's this protection, that's this run, that's this call. Hey, this guy's footwork wasn't great, or hey, they made here. And being able to watch that and evaluate it, I think, is a huge step for young players, and we're seeing that, so it's exciting.
Connor was the Big 12 lineman of the year last year. What's it mean just to have a guy like that, left tackle, that stature?
That big?
Well, just having a guy like that on your line, who's that good.
Yeah, he's a great player, and we're happy that he plays for us. He's got a lot of work to do to improve this season. I feel like he made a big jump because he became a real team guy, a real unit guy, and I think that allowed him to make a big jump last season. And it wasn't really all about him; it was about the unit and the strength of the unit. But he's got to make some big strides if he wants to repeat. There's a lot of great linemen in this league and on our team. He's going to be competing with guys in their own room for that if he wants to win that again. So it's we love Connor. But there's a lot of work to be done before September 3rd. But glad he's with us.
As a unit, I know you said that you need to get it right by September 3rd, not on April 14th. But what's the biggest area of improvement you've seen in the room since January 1st?
Since we came back, or since last season? I would say our overall level of physicality. I feel that we're stronger this year. I feel like we're thicker. I feel, I'd say this spring we're probably playing more physical than we did all of last season. I don't know if that's confidence. I don't know if that's. I think it's part confidence, part familiarity with the system. I think it's part Vic throwing 10 pounds on their neck, and I think it's all kind of a mixture of that. But I think the physicality we're playing with right now is different than the fall.
Particularly with the veterans, is there less of the musical chairs than you had last spring, or are they kind of settled and maybe you're moving other guys around? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a challenge. Would like to move more of them around than I am right now. Well, probably will in training camp. We're not quite as healthy as we want to be. We have 5 more freshmen joining us in the summer. So we have quite a few pieces that are missing from the puzzle right now in the room. Once we get kind of a full allotment of players, we'll probably shuffle guys more. And I think it's important in development. I think if you just get zeroed in on one spot, I think you can kind of get lost in your own world. So I think that it's important for Connor Galvin to get right tackle reps, and I think it's important for Khalil to play guard and Grant Miller to play center. I think all those are really important, not just for us and for our benefit, but for their futures. They all have professional aspirations, and when you get to that level, it is a little bit of that's where where can you add value. So we're trying to develop depth for our team and good scenarios for our team, but also trying to develop them so when they do have an opportunity to try for the next level, they're ready to get moved around. And so it's a little bit of both. There's a benefit to both of those areas.
Will, what's it like? So many veterans back. Y'all know each other well. Y'all know the system. What's that like?
Oh, it's great. Just having the same guys back. We got the same goals, so it's been great working with the same vets. We all know we got to do personally and as a group to get better. So it's all been great.
Seems like all the other guys announced it. What thought did you have on coming back? And because I don't remember you ever even make an announcement about it.
I ended up making an announcement, but I was like the last guy making an announcement. But I don't know. I was just more stuck on I was coming back anyway, so I wasn't thinking about just making a post about it. I knew I was probably coming back more than likely. So yeah.
Are you? The other guys said you were playing different positions. Do you like that? Just so y'all have some versatility.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good for here and at the next level. So at the next level, you'll definitely probably play multiple positions. So it's always a good thing to have versatile guys at different positions. So yes, sir.
You playing tackle and guard then, or what spots are they looking at you at?
I've been mostly at tackle this spring. I haven't moved around that much. So for me personally, I've just been at tackle.
What kind of step can you guys take? I mean, as experienced as this group is, what's the next step for you guys?
The next step, we have personal goals, just being more reliable, being everybody doing the right thing every play, trying to be the execution part of it being like as 100% as possible. So.
Is some of that cutting down on penalties, particularly pre-snap, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir. Pre-snap, post-snap. So, yeah. Yes, sir.
What's the biggest difference? What's the biggest step you guys have taken to this point as a unit?
As a unit, I think the biggest step we've taken is the biggest step, I think, we just being more close, being just more gritty. We try to rely on grit, so just having that edge with us, bringing that edge with us every single play. So.
You guys, I asked Jacob about this, but like Abram had 1,600 yards rushing. Y'all hardly give up any sacks. Do y'all look at those stats much, or is that part of the pride y'all take?
We don't really pay close attention to the stats because we're not big on stats. We just try to be the best we can be. So just working hard and just being gritty, just executing, and we focus on those things. We let the running backs, have all the glory and shine. So that's how it usually goes.
Khalil, you've kind of gone through the ups and downs with this program, with this team. What was last year like for you? Knowing that you guys had a 2-win season, a 1-win season, and then you wound up at 12-2.
It was great to accomplish the ultimate goal. Since I've been here, it's been roller coaster with different coaches, different schemes. So it was great. It was a great feeling, just feeling that peak. But we want more. So yes, sir, it was great.
So is the goal this year to maybe get into the playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
How did you improve last year individually?
Individually, I say is more technique. I got more technical. I got more into I would say I took that step into the game where I was more focused on the more technical aspects of it instead of just I think I was more reckless in the past, just not really. I focused on the scheme, so I feel like I evolved in that aspect.
Well, Jacob, what's it like? You got so many veterans back. It seems like it's kind of a much different scenario than last year. Just what's it like with all those guys?
Obviously our chemistry has been a ton better. Just coming into spring, being with each other in the weight room a lot longer. I think I've only been here probably 10 months, something like that. So I think just the time has just helped us so much and just build a relationship with each other and just trust each other a lot more.
Is that the biggest difference from last year to this year with you guys?
I think that's one of the things that I've started to notice in the spring is that guys are just trusting each other more and just there's a little bit more chemistry and we kind of know what each other are thinking a lot more than we did before. So I think that's definitely the big difference.
Jacob, was that anything you guys talked about together? 4 of you guys came back for an extra year. Or did y'all was that all independent decisions?
I think we all kind of knew that we were going to come back together. So I think I guess it's all independent because we all have our own reasons and things like that. But I think in the end we all knew we were all going to stay and come back another year and just try and get better.
What was your reason? What did you want another year for?
I needed another year to just get better. There's still some things that I wasn't satisfied with what I did, and I think there's some tons of room for growth for me. And I think I'm given this extra year for eligibility because of COVID. I think I'd be dumb not to use it and just get better before I'm ready to go to the next step.
Do you guys feel like y'all need to be some of the leaders on the team just because of your experience and just how well y'all played last year?
Yeah. Obviously we're probably the oldest position group, starting position wise, and I think that carries a lot of weight with a lot of guys. It's just being older, being in college football for so long. I think that they look to us in general, but I think just our play and how we work and things like that is another big thing of why other players look to us.
I can't remember if you had played a lot of center before you got here, but was that something where you got really comfortable as the season went on?
I was recruited as a center at a high school, and I played in my first couple years at Buffalo before I was moved to guard out of injury, and I ended up just playing well there. But obviously I didn't play at a high level like this before and have a ton of game reps, so it was something I had to get back to and just the new technique and everything. So I think through the season I think I grew a lot, just getting better, and that's part of another reason why I want to be be back here another year, is to just play another year of center and just get better.
Obviously you want to get better, but you wouldn't sign up to do something you didn't enjoy. So did this group just had a lot of fun together last year?
Yeah. I mean, that's another point, is that we have guys that I know I love and I trust, and I knew I was going to be in a system that I was going to be able to work well in, and so I wouldn't come back if I didn't know I could get better. If I wasn't put in a situation where I felt loved and trusted to do what I can do.
When you see stats like Abram rushing for 1,600 yards, you hardly give up any sacks. Y'all take a lot of pride in that kind of thing?
Yeah, we definitely do. That's definitely important to us. Obviously, that's our main job, protecting our guys, making sure they get yards and make sure they're staying upright. We don't read too much into stats because there's so many different reasons for certain stats, and so that's not really put in there with the stats. So we're not too worried about it, but obviously it's a great marker for how successful we are. But yeah, I mean, we take great pride in it, keeping our guys safe and keeping them secure.
Well, Grant, obviously y'all are a veteran group. I mean, what's it like to have so many veterans there that know a lot of the system and everything?
The main thing I would say is maturity and wisdom. I mean, obviously this is now our second year in the program underneath Coach Mateos and Coach Grimes, so I would say just the maturity that comes with understanding what the expectations are, what the standard is, and then I'd say just being able to have another year together, just being able to gel and kind of be on the same page a little bit more than we even were last year. So, I mean, I'd say those are the main two things for us.
Grant, was that something that you thought about a lot about coming back, or was that just kind of an automatic, I get another year, I'm going to take it, that kind of thing?
It's something I definitely considered for sure. I mean, whenever you get a chance to come back and play with kind of the same guys that you had success with, it's obviously something that you think about when determining some of the factors of whether or not you want to come back. So to know that I could come back and pretty much play with the same guys and the same group that had a lot of success, to come back and try to push the envelope and go even further, take this thing to new heights, it was definitely something that interested me.
Are y'all moving around much, or y'all staying at one spot?
It's pretty much been something for us, Coach Mateos and Coach Grimes, just talking about durability. Not durability, but also just like your ability to move around and switch positions. So, I mean, I'd say all of us are really, moving around, learn new positions, trying to get better. We know that it'll help us more at the next level too, but as well as just, availability in terms of you may never know what happens over the course of a season, having guys ready to play multiple positions if, that's where you're needed.
But you played some center, right? I mean, is that a fairly natural position for you?
Yeah, I mean, I started pretty much all of my games that I played in at Vanderbilt at center. So, center, does have a natural feel to me, but I also, started every game at right guard last year as well. So, I've gotten more acclimated to guard, and I really feel comfortable at both, which is what I really feel like what our coach's goal is, not to feel like more natural at one position than the other, to feel natural being an offensive lineman, and that's, wherever you're put, to feel comfortable at.
Obviously, with all of you guys coming back, it was a decision that you wanted to play for Coach Mateos again, and how big has he been for the group?
I'd say Coach Mateos has played a really big role in, our success. I mean, I wasn't here, the year prior, but, just understanding, maybe some of the struggles or, some of the culture that, kind of was here at Baylor. I think Coach Mateos really helped in terms of reshaping that. And, like I said, when, the few interviews that I had last year, I could already tell in a short time kind of the foundation he was laying to, take this place to even greater places and really blow the roof off the capabilities of what this O-line can do.
Are you playing any tackle or just guard and center?
I'm mostly playing guard and center, but, playing some tackle is something that, Coach Mateos has, talked about before. But, for right now, I'm mostly focusing on the interior three.
All those guys, I mean, for the most part, other than Connor, all those guys were kind of new last year. Is there a comfort level now maybe that you didn't have last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout the course of the season we started to, really hit our groove and really start to gel and really start to understand each other. I mean, I think just also being in year 2 of the playbook, whether anybody was here, even Connor, it was a new playbook for him. So to kind of be, kind of in semester 2 is kind of like what we like to call it. We're kind of learning some next level stuff, getting really into the whole depths and details of our playbook, and then also just kind of understanding each other and being on the same page more, understanding our play styles, things like that. And I think that's kind of the stuff that we're expounding upon right now during spring ball that I expect to look even better in the fall.